Greetings, family. My name is Rochelle Powers. I am a certified yoga instructor as well as a holistic wellness coach. I am so honored to be able to offer you a beautiful gift for reintroducing you back into the hula hoop. I have on an all-black full-body leotard with no socks or shoes. Socks or shoes are very optional. I have my hair pulled back into a ponytail and it's tied off with a red scarf. Behind me, I have mounted is a 2.5-pound weighted hula hoop in the colors of pink and yellow. Also behind me, I have a sunshine that's mounted, which represents our solar plexus, one of the main energy centers I like to work with in my class. I also have mounted behind me the words of attitude is everything. Another key component I like to push to my clients as we spin. Attitude is everything. If you're just now getting back to the hoop after years, or maybe this is your first time, remember, you're going to drop the hoop. We're going to leave all our reservations at the door and just let it be that. If you drop the hoop many times, in which I expect and which you should expect to, just know it's part of the process. Pick your hoop back up and get back into your flow. Being comfortable in this session is also very important. The less restrictions that you have, the more opportunities you're going to have to get comfortable in your body and to be able to feel yourself through the hoop. Before we get started, I would like to express the medical disclaimers that I have just for your safety. 1, this is a cardio workout. So please be sure that you've been cleared by your physician if you have any medical conditions that's been contraindicated by cardio workout. Number 2, please, at any given moment during this class, if you feel yourself being tired, a little fatigued, or any sort of pain, I want you to listen to your body, what it's telling you, and stop, okay? This class is definitely going to be here when you get yourself back together and you feel that you can keep going on. Please know what your limitations are. And number 3, warming up. Warming up is definitely an important part to any type of physical exercise. It gives your body time to kind of get the blood moving, get everything loose, so that way it eliminates any type of potential for injury. Okay? So now that we got all of that out of the way, it's time to get to it. So before we get into all the technicalities on how to hula hoop, I want to speak briefly on why we hula hoop. There are so many benefits in hula hooping, all the way from body toning to relieving back pain, and my personal favorite, energy healing. In my classes, I like to focus on rebalancing certain chakras, such as the solar plexus. When we move the energy up through the spine, it kind of opens up our energy centers, and that is just healing in itself. So don't just think we out here hula hooping because it's cute. Just know it's a tribe of us out here that has this hula hoop, and we're using it as a vehicle for our healing. Now let's talk hoop size. Hoop size is very important when you want to concentrate on getting the right spin and being able to keep the spin going once you get your momentum up. Most adult hula hoops are ranging from 36 inches to 42 inches, right? A good way to determine how tall or how short you might need your hula hoop is to take the one that you're looking at, or maybe that one that you already have, and place it in front of you. Sit it right here on your abdomen. If it comes at your belly button, that's a perfect indication that you have a right hoop. Even if it comes up above the belly button, that's still great for you because it allows you room for a bigger spin and more control. Anything below the belly button is going to be a little too small, and you might not be able to keep that up and move the way that you really want to move. All right, so that's a great rule of thumb when you go down to the next store to figure out, like, which hula hoop do I need to get? Another key component in getting your hoop is the weight size, all right? I highly recommend anything from 2.5 pounds all the way up to 5 pounds. Anything heavier than 5 pounds is a major wreck on your knees. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm getting older in age and I would like to keep my knees, all right? So for a good cardio workout for yourself, I would love for you to stay between 2.5 and 5 pounds for your weight. Here are a few warm-up exercises you can do right before your own personal hoop session. The first exercise is the hip rotation. This exercise does not require your hoop to be in your hands. Standing up nice and straight, relaxing in your shoulders, I want you to step your feet apart about hip distance, keeping a slight bend in your knees. Placing both hands on your hip, I want you to take an inhale. As you exhale, I want you to push your hips back through your heels and roll your hips over to the right or left side, bringing your hips forward and then bringing your hips around to the opposite side and ending with your hips being pushed back. Keep this flow nice and steady. Keep going around and linking this movement with your breath. Nice, slow, and controlled. Do this about 5 to 6 breaths and then switch directions for 5 to 6 more breaths in the opposite direction. This is your hip rotation. The next warm-up exercise is going to be the same exercise, except this time we're going to isolate our hip rotations into smaller rotations. It's going to be the same by standing up nice and straight, stepping your feet apart about hip distance, keeping your hands on your hips for some support. Again, you're taking your inhale, and as you exhale, you're pushing your hips back and rolling your hips to the right or left side. But this time, you're bringing your hips in tighter and closer together. So it's more of a wind than more of a wider rotation. So as you're inhaling and exhaling, I want you to move those hips nice and slow all the way around. Do this for 5 to 6 breaths and then reverse the rotation in the opposite direction for another 5 to 6 breaths. This is your smaller, isolated hip rotation. Another warm-up exercise that you can do without your hoop is simply the forward fold bend. Standing up nice and tall and straight again, keeping your feet apart about hip distance with a slight bend in your knee. I would like for you to take your right foot and I want you to place it over the left foot. As you do that, I want you to take a nice long deep breath in and then exhale, release your hips forward, bringing your hands down to touch the ground. Making sure that you're keeping your knees nice and bent and bring your chin down to the chest. Hold this for another 3 to 4 breaths and then bring yourself up, rolling yourself up nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. Once you come up to the top, you can reverse your leg, bringing that right leg out and then crossing over with the left leg, and you're going to repeat the same sequence again, holding yourself down for another 3 to 4 breaths, releasing it, coming up nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. Then you're going to release the legs so they're hip distance apart again. Relax those shoulders down and connect with your center for just a few breaths. The next warm-up exercise I'm going to show you will require you to grab a hold to your hoop. What we're going to do now is we're going to stand in the middle of our hoop with a hand on each side and place the hoop in the small of your back, standing up nice and straight, relaxing in the shoulders. Take an inhale forward, and as you exhale, I want you to take your whole entire top half of the body and you're going to rotate to the right side, looking over your right shoulder. You're going to inhale yourself back to the front, and exhale, you're going to go to the opposite side or your left side, looking over your shoulder. And then bring yourself back to the front. Linking this movement with your breath, be mindful of your exhale to look deeper over that shoulder in the direction that you're turning. So every inhale, you should be forward, and every exhale, you should be looking over your shoulder. Follow this flow for the next 5 to 6 breaths, and then release your hoop all the way down to your side. The final warm-up exercise I would like to show you with our hoop are some side stretches. So just standing up nice and tall and straight. This time your hoop should be hanging below the waist and not resting on the small of your back, with both hands on each side of the hoop. On your next inhale, I want you to bring the hoop all the way above your head, nice and long and tall. And as you exhale, I want you to take the whole entire hoop and shift your weight over to the left side. Hold that for 2 breaths. Inhaling, bringing your hands back all the way to the top. And on your next exhale is shifting your weight over to the opposite side. Nice and slow and controlled. Linking this movement with your own breath Follow this flow for the next 5 to 6 breaths and then release. You have been warmed up. Your body position is very important when initiating your starting method. So here are a few pointers I would like for you to keep in mind. Upon starting your spin, be sure that you're standing up nice and tall and straight with your shoulders relaxed. Before your spin, also be sure that you're placing the hoop in the small of your back. Not too high and not too low. You're definitely going to learn how your center mass is going to be your best friend. Also, keep your elbows and your hands above the hoop. This will ensure that there's no disruption in your momentum once you get your spin going. And my final pointer, keep in mind that hula hooping isn't a circular motion in your hips. The next 2 starting methods I'm going to show you is going to reveal that to you. It's more of a rock and it's definitely more of a sway. No circles. The first method I would like to demonstrate is the front to back rock. With one hand on each side, hold the hoop horizontally so that it touches the small of your back. Step 1 foot forward slightly to give yourself a solid foundation. Wind up by holding the hoop and turning your body in one direction to give the hoop an energetic spin around your waist in the opposite direction. Most people prefer spinning the hoop in one direction over another. The rule of thumb, if you're right-handed, spin your hoop to the left. If you're left-handed, spin your hoop to the right. In other words, spin your hoop to your non-dominant side. Push your belly forward, pushing firmly each time the hoop crosses your stomach, shifting your weight back and forth and forward and back. Keep both feet on the ground as you push your belly forward with each revolution of the hoop, slightly bending and straightening the forward leg, shifting your weight, and rocking front to back on each push of the hips. The push of your hips forward is just as important as your push of the hips going back. The next method I would like to demonstrate is the side-to-side sway. Stand inside the hoop and place your feet about hip distance apart with your knees slightly bent. With one hand on each side, hold the hoop horizontally so it firmly touches the small of your back. Wind up and turn your body in one direction and give the hoop an energetic spin around your waist in the opposite direction. Remember the rule of thumb and spin your hoop in the non-dominant direction. Move your hips side to side, pushing the hoop as it passes over each hip. Remember to keep your hands and your elbows above the hoop. Now let's give this one a try. If the hoop falls below the waist, there are a few ways to recover. Bend your knees to get beneath the hoop while pushing your hips really fast to coax the hoop back up to your waist. Keeping your shoulders back will help keep the hoop from falling as you bend your knees. Or turn your body in the direction of the hoop while pushing your hips really fast. The key to recovering a falling hoop is to push, thrust, or even shimmy your body much faster than the normal hooping, whether or not you bend your knees or turn your body in the flow of the hoop. So there you have it, family. Something sweet, something simple, and something oh so healing, all right? We done warmed up. We figured out starting methods of how we can start our hoop. We maintained our hoop. And if we needed to, we know how to recover that thing, okay? All this is just building on you practicing. Nobody is going to get this done and get it right the very first time. But we do have some people with that muscle memory who put that hoop on and remembered exactly how this thing was supposed to go. And now you're wondering, don't just leave me hanging, Ro. What else? I totally got you. Let me leave you with a little trick that you can build on so that when you take this session on your own turf, in your own time, you got something to move on and grow with, okay? Let me take you around the world real quick. The around the world trick. So this trick is very, very easier done than it is said. I want you to pay close attention to this one. Go ahead and initiate your starting method. Once you've initiated your starting method, make sure that you've gained enough momentum in your speed. In other words, just increase the momentum as you spin. Once you've gained enough momentum in your spin and it's going as fast as you need it to go, I want you to turn your whole entire body in the direction of the spin. Once you made a complete circle coming back to the front, automatically throw your hips back into the momentum that you created. Here is a demonstration. So that's it, family. That's all that you need right now. I just gave you some simple tools for you to use to jump back into this hula hoop game. Please don't overthink this, all right? 85% of this information, it's all in your body. All the technical stuff we just talked about, yeah, I sowed the seed. But once you find the right hoop, you get the right song, you're going to lose yourself into this whole spin, and then that's where the magic lies, okay? Don't overthink this at all. I want to give thanks for allowing me to come into your space to be able to share such a beautiful gift and healing of energy and your physical form through the vehicle of hula hoop, all right? So I enjoyed my time. And I'm not going to cry on camera, but I am a little emotional because this is a gift. And this is something that I take personal because I've transformed a lot of lives with this round contraption that we call a hula hoop. It's more than just a cute dance that everybody's probably looking at on the internet now, and it's a lot more deeper than our 12-year-old selves when we were kids and just trying to compete. All right, so this is more on some healing and tapping into yourself, and I'm very proud for everyone who's having the courage to jump back into this thing and to give yourself the gift of hula hoop. So with all that said, anybody that's wishing to reach out to me for any one-on-one sessions that I provide, we do get a little bit more deeper than just the physical part of this. There's also a spiritual aspect to the hula hoop as well that I incorporate in my classes, like I said before. Deepest gratitude from the bottom of my heart to yours. Ashe, and keep hooping.